Hello, I am Ashley Keel, and I am the executive editor of Young Adult Nonfiction at Learner Publishing Group. And I am here today with my colleague Shayna Olmanson, who is the associate editorial director of Young Adult Nonfiction at Learner Publishing Group. And today we're going to tell you about the Fall 20 books from our imprints, 21st Century Books and Zest Books.
Genomics is a new field in biology and medicine, made possible by the results of the Human Genome Project, which sequenced all 3 billion base pairs of the human genome in the early 2000s. Genomics, a revolution in health and disease discovery, delves into the recent breakthroughs within this new field, exploring the basics of genetic science and the technological advancements that have made genomic medicine possible. Authors Whitney Stewart and Dr. Hans Anderson use case studies of individuals who have benefited from genomic medicine to make this complex topic approachable and relatable for young readers. The text covers controversial ethical issues, such as the editing of human embryos with CRISPR-Cas9 and the application of genetic research in sports to decide who can and cannot compete, challenging readers to both understand the science and think critically about the ways that society uses science. This book's publication coincides with the blossoming of a new medical field, the developments of which make headlines every day, and it will inspire an interest in science and medicine.
For students across the country, figuring out what to do after high school can be terrifying. Will you go to college? And if so, how do you choose one? How do you pay for it? What are the differences among an Ivy League school, a four-year state university, a community college, and trade school? And what do you even want to do with your life? Is it worth taking out student loans to study something you're not even sure you want to do? What if you're considering joining the military? What do you need to know? What are the risks and what are the benefits? This book walks readers through many of the options available, including college, gap years, military service, volunteering, and more. It explores different ways to figure out your interests and goals, and it takes a deep dive into how to put your plans into action, especially in terms of financials. Revisions and updates from the first edition will meet the needs of today's audience, including updated costs for different kinds of colleges, universities, and trade schools, as well as up-to-date information about student loans, grants, scholarships, and additional guidance on navigating distance learning and deferring enrollment in a pandemic-affected world. Author Genevieve Morgan lives in Portland, Maine, where she writes both fiction and nonfiction, as well as teaching writing to teenagers. In 2015, this book became a TEDx Youth Talk available on YouTube.
Drones that can shapeshift to absorb a crash, designer proteins that deliver a universal flu vaccine, a concert hall ceiling that can adjust to improve acoustics, and a telescope lens the size of a football field that can see into deep space. In one way or another, each of these innovations uses strategic folding. To develop technologies that make them possible, engineers take inspiration from the ancient art form of origami and the natural world. Written by long-standing 21st Century Books author Karen Lachana Kenny, Folding Tech, Using Origami and Nature to Revolutionize Technology, examines the history of origami from its origin as a spiritual practice in Japan to the implementation of computer programs to create intricate, multi-sheet works of art. From there, Kenny takes examples from both origami and nature to demonstrate how the math that makes them possible can also be used to solve some of the most complicated challenges in engineering, architecture, technology, and medicine today. Learner's augmented reality allows readers to get up close and personal with this technology and to see it in action.
What does it mean to procrastinate? The author definition in this book is to put something off despite knowing that a negative consequence is likely to happen. This book can help readers stop procrastinating and get it done, whatever it happens to be. It helps the reader figure out why they're procrastinating, what's stopping them from getting something done, and more. It includes lots of tools and tips for setting up good work environments and analyzing one's own styles and needs. For instance, are you having trouble finding time to exercise? Make it easy. Put it on your calendar. Bring your gear with you. Set up a routine. Play basketball right after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Or if you're putting off college applications, block off a Friday morning to start sorting through it. Author Leslie Josel has been a time management coach for teens for more than 10 years. She does individual coaching and presentations around the country, and her company, Order Out of Chaos, has created an award-winning academic planner for teens. Leslie uses true stories and anecdotes from the kids she's worked with over the years to demonstrate where they were getting stuck and how she worked with them to get unstuck. Just one example from the book is high school student Rachel couldn't sit still in one place long enough to get all her homework done. So one day, Leslie asked Rachel to organize her homework by subject, and then Leslie hid each subject in a different place in her house. And wherever Rachel found the homework, that's where she had to finish it, even if it was in the bathtub or under the kitchen table. It sounds weird, but it worked for this student. The author has a sense of humor and knows how to meet teens on their level. She acknowledges that it's hard and everyone procrastinates. And then she provides a lot of amazing tools and strategies for lots of different types of people and concerns. This book will resonate with teens, young adults, and probably anyone else too.
In January 2009, a mysterious software developer, Satoshi Nakamoto, exchanged a specially designed code with another developer. The code was a digital currency that Nakamoto had proposed several months before in a paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This was the first Bitcoin transaction. Since then, Bitcoin has become the face of a tech revolution in digital cryptocurrencies based on blockchain technology. In Cryptocurrencies and the Blockchain Revolution, Bitcoin and Beyond, author Brendan January describes why Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were created and who is using them, diving into the blockchain technology and coding that supports cryptocurrencies, and showing where cryptocurrencies have succeeded and where they have failed. The book looks at the worlds of coders, libertarians, criminals, financial regulators, and crypto detectives to understand the limits and pitfalls of cryptocurrency and how it may fundamentally challenge governments, the financial sector, and global economics.
In the United States, we're electing women politicians at record rates. In the 2018 midterms, 589 women ran for US Congress and the governor's office. 125 of those won their elections, including 45 women of color. This book, which includes full-color illustrated portraits, is a non-exhaustive who's who of 44 women currently influencing and shaping politics, both in the United States and overseas. One of the main goals is to examine the road to power for women politicians in our times, and it can also serve as a beautiful inspiration for young people considering activism and politics as a career. The book addresses important historical figures and explains some key political processes and terminology as well. Each profile includes the politician's background, how she got started in politics, her top causes, who disagrees with her and why, and ends with a few of her biggest achievements and quotes. Debut author Caitlin Donahue is an American freelance journalist who currently lives in Mexico.
In 1941, Kyo Sato, her parents, and her 8 siblings grew strawberries and grapes on a small farm near Sacramento, California. Kyo had just started college, and her oldest brother would soon join the army. The younger children attended school. The family went to church on Sundays. They were a typical American family until they weren't. Following the bombing of Pearl Harbor by the Japanese, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed an executive order ordering 120,000 Americans of Japanese ancestry to internment camps, even if they were U.S. citizens. Kyo and her family had 10 days to prepare before being bused to an internment camp in Arizona. Written by longtime TFCB author Connie Goldsmith with Kyo Sato herself, this book tells the story of Kyo's family, from her parents' immigration to the United States and starting a family in California, to their internment by the U.S. government and the impact being uprooted and treated as prisoners in their own country had. It also tells the story of their resilience in the face of adversity and how Kyo has used her experience to educate others, to advocate for inclusivity, and to fight against similar injustice. And that is our Fall 20 list for 21st Century Books and Zest Books.